Hey guys, this is Steve Huff, SteveHuffPhoto.com. We're out here today heading to a comic fest, a fan fest of some kind, and I'm going to take some photos with the Leica SL, with the Voigtlander 50 f3.5 Heliar, which is an amazing lens. I also have a couple of other lenses. I have the Voigtlander 35 f1.2 and the Voigtlander 40 f1.2. So I'm going to shoot the Leica SL with a trio of Voigtlander lenses here at the Comic Fest, so let's go check it out. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick lens test between these three Voigtlander lenses. We'll be able to see how they render, because each of these lenses renders a little bit different. The 35 f1.2 is going to render more old school, the 40 1.2 has a little bit more of a modern flair to it, and the 50 f3.5 is just perfection in a lens. So I'm going to start with the f3.5 here, the Heliar, which is a beautiful lens. And I'm going to take a picture of a statue in front of me, and we'll compare how each lens looks or renders the scene. Then we're going to head over to the Comic Fest and see if we can get some portraits of some cool people.
Okay, first a quick comparison. First up is the 50 f3.5 Heliar, a fantastic lens that shines in up-close performance, but here we are mid-length. You can see there's not a, it's a wider depth of field due to that f3.5 aperture shot wide open, but here is the sharpness. It's a very sharp lens. It has a very nice rendering, but let's take a look at the 40 f1.2, which will give you more depth, more pop for something like this at mid distance. It's not as sharp as the Heliar, but again, here I'm shooting wide open at f1.2. So you stop it down, you can get similar sharpness, though the way it renders up close is going to be a little different. But that 40 f1.2 is a favorite of mine from Voigtlander, a fantastic lens in E-mount or M. Here is the 35 f1.2 Nokton, a classic. It's still a very lovely lens, as you'll see in some photos coming up here. Not quite as sharp as the f1.2 40, but this gives a more vintagey vibe to the feel of the images, so it all depends on what you're looking for. All right, let's get some shots with these three lenses. First up, the 35 f1.2, which has long been a favorite of mine, but I got a new copy and it is stunning. Much better than my last copy. Let's take a look. Now this is on the Leica SL. Look at wide open in full sunlight. The SL can handle this kind of shot with its dynamic range, and this lens is beautiful wide open, and it's pretty dang sharp at f1.2. The background just melts away and the subject pops. Check out this next one, also shot at f1.2. This couple was super cute, and they look like they're cut out and put in front of a blurred background, but that's the effect of the 35 f1.2 Nokton. As I said, I had a previous copy earlier in the year and it was soft wide open. This one is just stunning, so there is some sample variance, it seems. Here's a cool shot. Creepy killer clown with a red balloon, and hey, his baby in a raincoat. Of course, that's to protect the baby from the sun, but it was a fun shot. The 35 f1.2 wide open. This is cropped to 6x6. This lens will vignette a little bit wide open on whatever body you put it on. Here's another 6x6 crop. Full sun, 95 degrees. The SL used the electronic shutter automatically so it can handle that full sun shooting wide open, which is beautiful. I love this lens on the SL. Get a good copy and it's beautiful. Now check this out, the 40 f1.2 at $8.99, one of my favorite lenses, regardless of brand or cost. On the SL, it just renders beautifully. You get up close to a portrait length, open it up. This is actually shot at f1.2, I believe, and it just looks beautiful from color to sharpness to the bokeh, and it gives off kind of a little bit of a classic vibe, a little bit of a modern vibe. But check this out at f1.2 on the SL. That EVF on the SL makes it so easy to nail focus. Here's Captain America hanging out in the 95-degree weather with his full gear on. He was happy to let me take his photo. It's easy at these kind of events. People want their photo taken. They're here to show off. They're here to show their love for their comic heroes or their superheroes, and they love it when you ask for a photo. Here's another creepy guy. I don't know if this is Slender Man with a hat. I don't really know who this is because I'm not up on my comics, but this was shot with the 40 f1.2 at a mid distance. which also will allow for some subject separation. Again, this lens is $899. You can also get it for Sony mount. Here's the 50 f3.5, a $529 powerhouse. Don't let the speed fool you. This lens will deliver some amazing color. Look at the reds, look at the blues. It's sharp, and I only shoot this lens wide open at f3.5. You'll still get some shallow depth of field with it. Nothing like the super fast primes, but it's a beautiful, beautiful lens. Here's a shot, a reflection through a window. This guy was eating lunch in a restaurant. I walked by, he looked at the camera, smiled, and I said, hey, I motioned to him to take a picture, and he struck a pose. I love these kind of shots with reflections in glass, and that 50 Heliar did an amazing job here. But if you want something that can compete against the Leica 50 Apo, for the Apo's 8,000, this is 529. It's not a 50 Apo because it's not f2. It's not going to give you that same character, but this is pretty close for 500 bucks, guys. This is a no-brainer lens. It comes in M mount. I'm using it with adapter on the SL. You can use it on a Sony. You can use it on an M. Full sun here in Phoenix. This lens is sharp, wide open. Gives you some bokeh, some background blur wide open if you're close enough. But it's a beautiful lens. You should see my review of this lens here on YouTube and at stevehufpphoto.com for some beautiful samples. One more here. Again, dynamic range of the SL is fantastic. I didn't really blow out anything on these photos because the dynamic range on today's cameras is so good. This girl seemed a little sad maybe or something, but she let me take her photo, no problem. Let's take a look for comparison at the Leica 50 Apo, $8 grand. I took these at the Comic Fest a few years ago. You're going to get that blazing color and pop. This was in full sun. This was on the M240, but again, $8,000 for this lens, guys. And you're going to see some photos here from it that don't look any better than what I was getting with those Voigtlanders at so much less cost. Even the color looks off on this one a little bit. So I want to tell you guys, if you're looking for fast primes for your Sony A series, a Leica SL, a Leica M, don't discount Voigtlander these days, guys. That 41.2 is beautiful. The f3.5 is beautiful. And the classic Nokton 35.1.2, if you get a good copy, as I just did, it is a lifetime lens. It's too bad there is some sample variants, but I get that within Leica as well. Again, here's the 50 Apo. This is from a few years ago at the Comic Fest on an M240. Kind of a different vibe, but that's also due to it being a different camera, and the SL is superior to the M240 in the sensor department. Again, here's one more from the 50 f2 Apo Leica and the M240. I much prefer shooting the SL. I have to tell you that EVF is just gorgeous even by today's standards. The SL is holding up and holding up really well. As a matter of fact, this is the third time I've had an SL. I've owned it twice, I sold it, and I miss it every time, no matter what other camera I have. The SL is just a piece of beauty in its design and function and menu and everything, but it's just a beautiful camera. So let's do a quick compare of a $500 lens versus an $8,000 lens. First up, we'll show a image from, what is it going to be? I don't remember what we have here. This is the 53.5 Heliar on the SL. Great, sharp. It's a reflection through a window. It looks really nice. And here is that 50 Apo shot. $8,000 right here for the lens only, of course. And then we'll look back at that $529 lens in a different year, different scenario, different lighting, but you get the drift. There's no need to pay 8,000 bucks. You can get this lens for $529 at CameraQuest or B&H Photo. There'll be some links in the description below. If you like this video, thumbs up and subscribe. There's going to be many more videos coming. Also check out stevehufpphoto.com for thousands of written reviews over 10 years. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.